Good evening, everyone. We continue the series that we started. What is it? The fourth one today, right? The fourth? The fourth one. Pirkei Avot. And the last week we finished with Rabban Gamliel say, Ha'olam omed al adin, al ha'emet ve'al ha'shalom. The three different foundations of the world are the judgment, the truth, and the peace. And today we're starting chapter 2. And it starts with the word. Altogether we have 6 chapters in Pirkei Avot, 6 altogether. We finished one of them, and we're starting the second one. Rabbi, the president of Israel, this is what he says. What's the right way for a person to live according to it? What's the honest way with integrity that a person should live by? So everything that brings glory to the person, and actually what we say Kiddush Hashem, and brings tiferet, which means everyone that sees getting impressed. And also he says that a person has to be very careful to keep all the mitzvot, not only the mitzvot that are very important and big. Some mitzvot a person says, that's not so important. As long as I keep Shabbos, I learn Torah, I put tefillin, I daven, but this little mitzvot, I don't have patience for it. So Rabbi says, he wrote the Mishnah, he knows what he's talking about. He says, you have to be careful with every mitzvah, kala kevachamura, even a small light mitzvah, because we do not know the reward of every mitzvah. Of course, we know Shabbos is more important than some other mitzvot, we know it. We also see in the Torah what are the punishment for certain sins. We know that. But we do not know, in relation to the efforts, maybe some of these little mitzvot, the reward is huge for it. Hashem didn't tell us all the rewards and all the punishments. Why? Just because He didn't want us to sit and calculate which one to do and which one not to do. Look at 3 things and it will save you from the sins. You should always know what's above you. There's an eye who watch over you, and there's a He who listens to you, and everything you do is being registered in the book of God. I once told you the story, and I know the story, it has an impact of many people. The people have only knew that Hashem is watching them every second and records them. Obviously, a person wouldn't do 99% of the things he does. He wouldn't do, right? Even in hidden rooms, like there's halacha to be modest in a bathroom. How a person take off his pants, how he behaves in a bathroom. A person think, what, the bathroom? Who watch me in the bathroom? Even here, I have to be modest. Yeah, modesty. It's not only between you and people. It shows your foundation, who you are. Are you a rotten person or you a holy person? A holy person, he will be alone in the island, nobody watches him. He will still always be modest. He will never go naked, no shirt. He will never agree people to take pictures of him like the President of the United States walking in the beach without his shirt. This is people without a class. They don't have class, but the Chacham has class. Every Jew has to get to this level. And so I once told a story of Rabbi Mizrachi. He said that story, that it happens to him. He said that one time he came from shul on Friday night. He lives in Bnei Brak, in a building, and there's an intercom. And the intercom in Israel, for every apartment you have a button. And when people buzz, you have to pick up the phone in the apartment, ask who it is, and then you press the button and it lets them in. So if you don't hang up the phone, people in the lobby would continue to hear what's happening in your apartment. Because once you pick up the phone, that's it, they hear everything. It's a 2-way radio. So one of his kids buzzed someone in and left the phone hanging on a wire. So when he came from shul, as he walking into the place, what does he hear? All the screaming of the kids, his wife in the house. They all, So right away he ran quickly to the house. What's going on here? Shake it. Now they cannot hang up the phone because it's Shabbos. You cannot hang up the phone. So now you say the whole Shabbos, everyone there was on mute. Winch, like this. Everyone. Why? Everybody is listening. Just when a person realizes that everything I say has been recorded, right away it changes his entire behaving completely. And that's one story that happens to him. Then there is another story. One person owns a supermarket. And the supermarket has 10 aisles and 10 employees. And the supermarket was sold to a new buyer. And when a new buyer bought the supermarket, first thing he did, he put cameras in the aisles. One above the register, in each aisle, in the back. Right away, within an hour, 9 of the employees quit. Only 1 left. So before they got paid for the last paycheck, he asked them, why are you quitting? I'm going to be a good boss. I'll be even better than the other one. Why are you not giving me a chance? He said, no, it's nothing personal. It's not about you. So he asked the first one, why are you quitting? He said, listen, I have a habit. I like to pick my nose and eat my boogies. Now you put me a camera in my face. I'm not interested. The whole world will see what I do. So I have to quit. Okay, I understand. Goodbye. Then the next one comes and say, listen, I'm addicted to chocolate. So every time nobody was looking, I take a chocolate bar, I open it, I eat a little bit, and I put it back on the shelf. Every day, few chocolates like this, So now I have a camera, I cannot steal anymore. I say goodbye. The next one say, listen, I'm very tired during lunch. I go in the back, I sleep on the bags over there. He said, okay, goodbye. Everyone had an excuse. So then he said to the one who left, why you didn't go? He said, why should I go? I behave 100% like the rules. I don't do anything wrong. So for me, it's good that you put camera. Now you can see how good I am. Nothing to hide. He told him, you are the manager. Now you hire, you decide everything. I need somebody like you here. This is us. We every day of your life you forget that there's a camera. If somebody comes and follows you with a video camera 1 hour in the street, 1 hour, you see, check 1 hour without the camera, 1 hour with the camera, and you see what a tzaddik you are in front of the camera. So this is what the Pirkei Avot say. We have to remind ourselves every morning. Maybe we should put it in the shuls, that everybody on the way out will remember. There's an eye who watch over you. Everything has been recorded. You cannot escape anything. I once told a story that a person went to make a scene, and a guy was running by, and the guy said to the Jew, "How are you doing?" And now the Jew know the guy just saw me. If I'll make the scene, tomorrow will be over the news. Then he knows it's me, even though he will never see me again. But let's see if I break the glass of a car and steal something from inside. Just the fact that that guy saw him, it's embarrassing. So he doesn't do it. He said, okay, I'll come next week. That nobody will see me. The next week he come to make a scene. There is a little boy standing over there and staring at him. Yeah, maybe you can move a little bit inside so they can see it. So, good. So, the little boy is staring at him, the little boy, and what do you see? He cannot make the scene in front of the little boy. He cannot make the scenes in front of the little boy. Why? It's embarrassing. The little boy is staring at me. How can I do it? The next time he comes to make a scene, there's a dog. There's a dog staring at him. So in front of the dog, he's thinking, should I do it? Should I not do it? I try to push the dog away, but the dog doesn't want to go anywhere. Same thing, the little boy. Try to give him candy. Throw the candy over there, maybe it will go. He doesn't want to move. So in the end, he did not commit the sin. So after 120 years, when a person dies, he comes in front of Hashem, his trial begins. 1 year trial. It's exhausting, 1 year trial. But it's not a regular trial like here. Here, even though the police has evidence against you, and they have all kinds of things against you, they still don't know 90% of what you really do. They only know a little bit. They can't catch everything. Over there, everything is going to be discovered. There's nothing you can hide. You cannot get away with 20% of what you did. Nothing. 100% you see everything in details. even the thoughts, what brought you to that? What's the cause that you became a thief? What's the cause that you're making all kinds of crimes? You will see, you will understand. You know, one guy, he asked a question. He said, you know, the Gemara says that there are 3 questions in a trial of a person. The trial is 1 year. That's why we say Kaddish for 1 year on the deceased people, because they're standing in a trial. We try to help them out. But how does the trial start? First question, did you set up daily times to learn Torah? That's first question. So one Jew asked to the rabbi, Rabbi, I understand you take a religious person that didn't learn enough Torah. You ask him, first question, why didn't you learn Torah like you should have been? You ask him that, because he knows the importance of the Torah. He did not do it. He's guilty. But somebody like Ben Gurion, the prime minister, this was in the time of Ben Gurion, so he asked this question. Why are you going to ask this communist that he hates the Torah so much and he hates the religion so much? Ask him, why did you cut the payos from the Yemenites that came from Yemen? As soon as they land from the plane, you forced them to become goyim. Ask him, why did you eat worms and shrimps? Ask him, why did you be Mechalel Shabbat? This, ask him. Why are you asking him why he didn't learn Torah every day? Torah, what does he know about Torah, this guy? So what's the answer? We see in the Torah that this is a question to every Jew, regardless where he is from, or what does he know, what he doesn't know. It's always the first question to everybody. Which means everyone is guilty of it. That's why the trial begins with this. So the answer is, why Hashem will ask him this question? Why? Because if he would learn Torah, he wouldn't become the communist anti-Torah that he became. Someone who learns Torah every day cannot take a Jew and cut his peot, for sure. Somebody who learns Torah every day cannot put shrimps in his mouth. If this will learn Musar and Torah every day, he wouldn't become who he is. Or the same thing with the murderer. If the murderer would learn Torah, he wouldn't be a murderer. That's why you have to ask him, why didn't you learn Torah? Because this is the source of all the problems. So, a person did not make the sin in front of the dog. He comes after 120 years to Hashem in his trial, and Hashem will ask him one question about it. Am I worse than a dog in your eyes, that in front of the dog you could not make the sin, but in front of me you're making every second a new sin? What's going on here? The dog is more important than me? From him you're embarrassed, from me you're not embarrassed? Where is a person, where is he going to hide? Where is he going to hide? When he sees such a thing, wow, what a fool I am. But by then it will be too late. As long as we breathe, we can correct. The soul goes out of the body, he realizes right away what went wrong. But it's too late, it cannot be corrected anymore. So, the Tana, Rabbi Yehuda Anasi finished this first Mishnah of chapter 2. Remember, everything has been registered. As we continue, his son, Rabban Gamliel, which was also the president, they're all grandchildren of David HaMelech, King David. This family, Rabban Gamliel, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, then there's another Rabban Gamliel, there's another Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, then is Rabbi Yehuda Anasi. All these holy people, they're all grandchildren of David HaMelech, and from that family the Mashiach will come. We do not know, maybe we are their descendants. The Mashiach has to be from the descendants of David HaMelech. So this is what he says. Yafeh Talmud Torah in derech eretz. Talmud Torah has to go together with manners, and living in a correct style. Which means that when you drive on a highway, you have to drive like a human being, like an animal. When you talk, when you walk, how do you behave with people in a business, in your stores? A customer gets you angry, how you handle the situation. It's not enough just to be a robot, putting tefillin like a robot, Shomer Shabbos, eating chule and sleeping 10 hours in Shabbos, and think I'm the tzaddik of the world. No. Who are you? What are you? So it says the Torah has to go together with derech eretz. And a person has to put a lot of efforts in it, in the Torah, but just as much in manners, to become a decent human being. And if a person puts his efforts there, it will eliminate his sins. And a Torah, a person that learns Torah and doesn't have some kind of a profession or a job that he makes parnasa from, sofer, he writes sefrei Torah, tefillin, mezuzot, shochet, he has a job, he's teaching kids, something, not only just, it's, of course, it's very important that the person will learn Torah all his life. But ordinary people, average people, most of the people in the world, they need also something to be busy with. So it says, if you do it, if you work, you also have some work that you work with it, it's going to be more blessed, your Torah. It's always a dream of every Jew should be that not only I'm going to be able to learn all my life Torah, that I'll be able to have my own parnasa, that I can support my family without knocking on people's doors and beg them for food. Right? Today, you should know that the world is a little bit different than what it used to be. Not a little, a lot. In the time of the Rambam, 850 years ago, the Rambam wrote in his commentaries on the Pirkei Avot, Avot the Rabbi Natan, the Rambam writes over there, what is going on, he asked. Who would ever think that the Talmidei Chachamim, the Torah scholars would dare to take money from the people for their own personal needs? We're not talking for the synagogue or for their activities. That's not what we're talking about. It's talking from their own pocket. How can it be such a thing? We have Chachamim here that the wealthy people are begging them, let me give you money, I want to be a part of your zchuyot, your merits. And none of them agree. They all refuse. But you see today that all the Talmidei Chachamim, most of them that learns, somebody sponsored them. So the world is different. Why? In the time of the Rambam, life was very, very simple. You want a house, you work 3-4 days, you have a house. You don't have to work 30 years for that. Why? You take pieces of wood, you cut, you put it together, you put tars, you paint a little bit, finish. 3-4 days you build a house. No expenses. You get some friends, volunteers, they come, they help you. I don't have to tell you how their houses used to look. You know, I just come from Florida. I was in a very, very expensive neighborhood. Perhaps I've been in so many places. I don't remember seeing such a fancy place ever, whenever I went.
Like what?
Like a private neighborhood. It cost $75,000 just to apply to live there. Just that you understand what we're talking about. And $10,000 maintenance for the golf, for the spa, for the... You know, I mean, everywhere you go, you see, every grass you go, you see weeds, right? Miles of grass over there, not one weed. That shows you how much money they put to keep the grass like it looks like Persian rugs. You should see how the place looks, like how much they put into this world. It's funny. So,
White Persian rocks.
huh?
White Persian rocks.
You have any better rugs? I offended you? Okay, Bukhari rugs. That's it. But the Persians deserve credit. We gotta give it to them.
What, they have speciality?
Yeah, of course.
Everybody?
You don't know?
No?
Yeah. Anyway, the Persians, the Gemara said the Persians are also modest people. They're also modest. I don't know today if it's the same case, but that's how it was then. So so over there, an average person, if he wants to buy a house in that neighborhood where I was, he probably has to work 300 years. Average person. No, I'm not exaggerating. 300 years. You know, you can see big houses and pretty nice houses, but still, you know, they didn't go crazy. But sometimes you see that the person was addicted. Every inch in a house is from Italy and from there, and equipment and special computer. Nothing is ordinary over there. It has to be unique. It took me 3 hours to find out how to turn the faucet of the shower on. I'm trying here, pressing here, all kinds of things. I said, I need a course to live here, you know. Just to show you what we're talking here about. Anyway, and of course, these people, there's no sugar in the house. Let's say I want to drink, there's no sugar in the house. What about the guests that want sugar? No. Over here, nobody touch sugar. So what do they drink? Something natural, that it's sweetened. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so we're not talking, this wasn't the life in the time of the Rambam. Time of the Rambam, a person built himself a house, 2, 3, 4 days, and the house is ready. Then, to make a living, was also very simple. You have some cows, you have some sheep, they give you milk, you make cheese. Once in a while you slaughter a goat, so you have meat. Fish, it's easy, you go to the lake, you catch fish. And, you know, they have tomatoes, cucumbers, eggplants, whatever they need. That's it. Once in a while they have to go to the market and buy some extra. So life was very simple. So there was no reason why someone who wants to learn 15 hours a day Torah needs donations from anyone. Why? Go work 2 or 3 hours a day, make a little living, sell your tomatoes, sell the milk from your cows a little bit in the market, exchange, and that's it. So to think that I'm going to take from somebody money that I can sit all day and learn Torah, in the days of the Rambam was something that it wasn't recommended. But today, it's impossible. If a person wants to support himself, he has to go to work, he won't have time to learn Torah, maybe an hour a day. He will never be a chacham. That's one problem. Second problem, which is the main problem, is that the world was a clean place. If a person in the time of the Rambam wanted to go to the market to work, he would work there the whole year, and he would never see a not modest woman, not Jew, not a Goya. Everyone was covered. The women didn't speak to the men on the street. It wasn't what you see today. Today a person wants to go make a living. Where is he going to work? In an office in Manhattan? In 47th Street? In 5th Avenue? In an auction? Wherever he go, it's Sodom ve'Amorah. Really. If a person had enough money, he wouldn't have to leave his house for the rest of his life, if he was smart. This world is dangerous, full of bombs on the streets. People need to live, so they go to bad places to make a living. So today, if you want to be a chacham, you cannot go to these places. If you go to these places, it will take away all your holiness. You understand what we're talking here about, right? The person learns 2 or 3 days, is full of holiness, then he goes to a place, Hashem Yerachem, and over there he loses everything he learned. So what is it like? What is it like? What is it like? A person that wants to heat up water. He has the stove on. He puts the water on for 1 minute and takes it off. Puts it on, take it off. Put it on all day like this. The water will boil. But if a person put it 10 minutes straight, it boils. So what we see here, if a person learn and go out to Manhattan, learn, go to Manhattan, learn, go to Manhattan, when will he reach holiness? When? And it's like putting the fire on and off, all his life. The end of his life is never reach holiness, right? Because what's going on in the streets, especially in the summertime. That's why I know some people that have glasses, they're lucky. Because when they walk in the street, they take off their glasses. Yeah. Sometimes they hit a pole on the street, like, you know, fine. But like this, they see people, but they don't see anything. They cannot focus. They watch their eyes. Anyway, we'll move on. So it says like this. Now it's a very interesting thing. When you ask, let's say you went to a lecture and there's a rabbi who make the people, the audience, religious. They secular. He proves to them, he teach them, he gives them musar, and you see, they become Shomer Shabbos. Who gets the credit? Who gets the credit? The rabbi, right? The rabbi, he gets the credit. He made this guy religious, he made that girl religious, that family. That's the way it is. But what's the secret here? Amazing, amazing. Who really does the most to that person that he was able to become religious? Who helped him the most? His parents and grandparents, all his dynasty. They are the ones who, thanks to them, he has the merit to become religious. Where does it say it? Listen good. It says like this. וכל העמלים עם הציבור, and those of you who are מזכי הרבים, you're working with the public, right? You have to work with them for the sake of heaven, not to get anything in return from them. Serve dedicate your time, sacrifice yourself for the public, for the sake of heaven, to make Hashem happy. No? Very nice. שזכות אבותם מסייעתם. What's going to help the people? The zchut, the merit of their dynasty, their parents and grandparents. וצדקתם עומדת לעד. Why? If they had in their descendants righteous people, this righteousness will never be cancelled. It stays forever. ואתם, and you, who are you? The ones who make them religious supposedly. מעלה אני עליכם שכר הרבה כאילו עשיתם. I'm going to give you a huge reward to the speakers and those who help the speakers financially. I'm giving you a huge reward like you did it. I count it like you really saved him, like you saved his soul, like you made him born. But the truth is, the credit goes to his grandfather. You understand? You know, one rabbi, one assistant of a Rabbi in Yerushalayim goes every day in a bus from Bnei Brak to Yerushalayim. Every day. And, you know, the whole bus is almost religious people. You have 3, 4 not religious, but every morning, same hour, same thing. So one rabbi is taking a Gemara and is learning with another one in a bus. Why to waste an hour every morning? So they learn. Then one other guy asks if he can bring a Gemara tomorrow and join them. So the rabbi says, sure. Then another one joined them. All of a sudden there were 6, 7s in the back of the bus learning Gemara while the bus going to Yerushalayim. So then this rabbi was such a polite person with good manners, and he saw that so many people in the bus are trying to hear. He said, it's an opportunity, I'll teach the whole bus. Why only 6? I can teach 60. And the driver is not religious. So he came to the driver, told the driver, you know, with your permission, would you allow me to stand in front of the bus and give a shiur to the people here? I see there's a lot of people are interested, but only if you agree, if he won't bother you. Spoke to him, he gave him so much respect. So the driver, he felt that he has to agree. So he told him, yeah, no problem, of course. And then there's a microphone. You know, in a bus they have a microphone. So you can even have my microphone, that you don't have to scream. It's a long bus. They gave him the microphone, he started to teach. And now there are few not religious people, they see it's very interesting, the Gemara. They never saw what Gemara is. So they're starting to ask questions. Oh, mamash, the bus became a yeshiva. Every day the same people, yeshiva, hour. Then one of them that is not religious started to talk to the rabbi after the guy of the bus, and then they found out that he's a grandson, 7th generation direct from the Vilna Gaon. The grandfather of his grandfather was the Gaon Mivilna, and he's not religious. When that rabbi heard such a thing, he said, I don't have a choice. I have to stick to him until I make him religious. Long story short, Baruch Hashem, he made him religious. And the zchut, this whole thing happened. Why did it happen? Because he came and spoke to the bus driver in such a nice way. And then what we see, when you're nice with people, you get a lot more when you're arrogant. You know, or when you're tough, or you play, you know, a hero. It's much better to come and surrender and speak in a nice way. The people will appreciate much more. Anyway, so we continue. So the zchut, it's really the parents. And that's what helped them to have the merit to become religious. Then, Mishnah Gimel, the third Mishnah in this perek says, be careful with the authorities. The authorities don't care about the public. They only care about themselves. It should have been that they worry about the public. What can we do to make the life of the citizen better? But that's not the case. They want to get power. They want to be in control of the people. They want to decide what to do. Of course, some of them steal a lot of money. They steal a lot of money. Most of the taxes doesn't go to the authorities. In case you think that you're a good citizen and your taxes are being used properly, I assure you that about 80-90% of them goes to the people's pocket. You know, one time the king made a king somewhere in Europe made a meeting with all his advisors, all the ministers. One of them was a Jew, Rabbi. The king says, I don't understand. We charge so much taxes and we always broke. Cannot pay for anything. What's going on here? So the Jew said, hold on, your majesty, 1 second. He went, he brought a piece of ice from the kitchen, you know, a piece of ice. And they were sitting in a circle. So let's say there's about 30 people between the Jew and the king. So the Jew said to the one next to him, please transfer it to the king. So they transfer it from one hand to another. So once he got to the king, it's a tiny piece of ice. So the king said, what's this? So remember how it was? But when he went to him, he took some of it and then to him. So the king said, let's talk outside. So he said, are you saying that they steal the money, all these people in charge? He said, what do you think? Until it gets to the cause, most of it goes down somebody's pocket. That's what it is. So he says, not only it's better not to deal with them, don't ask from them anything. It's better that they won't have you in their system. If they have you in their system, believe me, one day you'll pay for it. Just don't start with them. הוא היה אומר, עשה רצונך כרצונו. Make sure that you adjust your mind to think like Hashem think, which means every person has wishes. One guy wished to be a lawyer, one guy wished to be a doctor, one guy wished to get married, one guy wished to go to China on vacation. Everyone has a dream in his life. She wants to be a model, he wants to be a baseball player. Everyone has a wish. Make a wish. So the Mishnah says, make sure that your wishes are Hashem wishes. What do you think Hashem wish for you? That you go to learn Torah, that you get married with a kosher woman, that you do all the positive things. Make sure that when you wish something, it's going to be approved by Hashem. Don't wish the opposite things. And if you're going to do that, Hashem will make His wishes like your wishes, measure for measure, which means tomorrow you want to be rich. It's not so necessary. But since you wish all the things that Hashem wished spiritually, so physically you will wish what you wish. You want a nice car, finally you're tired of your car, so Hashem will help you to get it. Against common sense, against logic. בטל רצונך מפני רצונו. When you have a wish that it's against his, make sure you cancel it. Don't be stubborn. If somebody tells you, what you want to do, this business you want to open, it's not kosher. Rabbi, but I made a deposit already, this. What? Who cares? Your problem, you made a deposit. But it's not a kosher business. Hashem is not going to be happy with this. Yeah, but you know, I'm embarrassed. What's good? The landlord's going to get angry. You know, I promise him. make רצונך כרצונו. כדי שיבטל רצון אחרים מפני רצונך. If you're going to do it, if you sacrifice, Hashem will cancel the wishes of others to yours. When you have arguments with people, with partners, with your children, with who knows, everyone has delegations with others, they will surrender to you. Same thing, same way you surrender to Hashem. הלל אומר, אל תפרוש מן הציבור. Don't be a stuck-up person. They're not my style, these people. Why are you there? I don't feel comfortable around them. He comes to a party, let's leave. These people are not for us. Or when the public volunteers to do something, let's say they want to make a road, like they used to do in the old days. They used to volunteer to move the rocks. Don't hide. Come also to help. When the rabbi calls everyone on Tuesday to come to pray for somebody that is in jail, or for someone that is sick, or they read Tehillim together, don't hide. Participate. Why? If you're not participating with the tzibur, one way or the other, you will pay the price. You know, there was one keilah, one community, with full of religious people. And one not religious person came from Israel to stay there. And all Shabbat, the owner of the house was begging him, showing him, trying to make him religious. It didn't help. He's not interested to hear. On the way to the bus, there was 2 ways to go to the bus. One to drive 3 minutes and one to walk 10 minutes. So the wife say, okay, no, take them to the bus. They have in 15 minutes, they have in 20 minutes, they have a bus. So he say, I'm walking with them. So the wife say, why? Take them with a car. What to walk now? He said, no, I want to walk through that shul. Because it's Saturday night. That shul has a minhag, they read Tehillim. All the guys, the kids, the women, everybody comes and read Tehillim. Why? Because they want, somebody is sick over there. So the whole community, every Motzei Shabbos, they gather together and they pray for him. I want him to hear the voice of the Tehillim. Maybe it will do something to him. So as they pass through the shul, he hear loud noise coming from the windows, from the doors. So he asked the host, what's this noise? Something happened? He said, one Jew is sick. So he says, so what's this noise? He said that 300 people came to pray for him, that he will be healthy. So the guy said, what? That's what they have to do on Saturday night? We go to the disco. What is this? He said, no, this is mean. Brothers. So can I take a look? So yeah. He brought him in. You see how they were praying. Such loud things. He said, you want to tell me this? All these people pray for one Jew? So yeah, and some of them don't even know him. They don't know him. The rabbi asked them to come, and they come. He said, you know what? This is better than all the things you told me today. 2 months later, he became fanatic, this guy. It was enough for him to see what the Torah is. You don't know what's going to do it. Sometimes it's logic, sometimes it's proof, sometimes it's touching his heart. Everyone has his own cue. Then the Torah continue. Don't judge a person until you be in his situation. Why? Sometimes you think, look what this guy is doing, look what he did. How do you know? If you would be in his situation, maybe you would do a lot more worse. That let's say they heard somebody stole money. They don't know the whole story. Maybe the mafia is threatening him to kill him. Maybe he owe money and now they send him gangster with a gun. You have 48 hours to get the money. So he ended up going to the shul and steal money until one day he will return it back. How do you know? Maybe you saw somebody driving on Shabbat. Maybe he has a pikuach nefesh, life risk. So many maybe. You don't know. Don't judge a person. Plus, there's another problem. That even if the person is guilty, you don't have anything to judge him favorably. Nothing. But you still don't know the difficulty of his test. What's easy for you is much harder for him. What's hard for you, it's easy for him. You may see him, look at this guy, can't get rid of his jeans. What's going on over there? 10 years he's learning Torah every day and still walking with the jeans like a goy. Embarrassment, busha. Get dressed like a Jew. How do you know? Maybe for him it's harder than to keep Shabbos. For you, after 2 minutes you got rid of the jeans. But for him, he's very strong desire to look like a goy. Because that's what he was in his previous life. So that's why it's still hard for him. For you, it wasn't the case. You don't have desires for things. You don't. Why? You died correcting the way you dressed. Now you don't have desire to dress like a goy. You always want to dress like a Jew, like respectfully, hat, big yarmulke, whatever the outfit may be in that place. Yes?
You said it was hard for him in previous life, maybe in the past. You said it's hard for him since the previous life.
No.
Does it have to do with previous life or with this past?
I don't understand what you say. Okay. We continue. So it says like this. Don't believe in yourself until the day you die. Why? Sometimes people were religious almost all their life, and in the last minute they left everything. It happened. Believe it or not, it's possible. Even though usually when a person lives most of his life religious, the chance that he would live religion is very, very small. Once the majority of his life, let's say he's supposed to live 70 years, and more than 35 is religious, he has a special protection to die religious. But to die religious is different levels. Don't believe in yourself. Just when you think, oh, this sin will never bother me, I'll never touch it. It can be the last day of your life, you still have desire and you wound it and you do it. So a person should not think, I never did it, it's guaranteed, I will be righteous forever. No. So don't put yourself in a place of a test. Don't say to people something that is too much for their level. Only say to them what they are capable of understanding and listening. You don't come to a Chiloni on the street that he doesn't even have an idea what he lives for. He eats everything that moves. And now you come to him and you talk to him about Chalav Israel. Come on. Talk to him about stop stealing, about living Christine, in a nice way. Why are you talking to him about Chalav Israel? You understand what it is, Bechlal? Talk to him about black hat. Hey, Itzik, come, look what the hat I bought for you. What? What's this? It's not in this level. Also, a person that is very stingy. Very stingy. It's cheap, very cheap. You don't know, this person is sick, he cannot give a penny for tzedakah. So what's the point? You're talking to him about the big tzedakah. You know it's not going to help. You have to only tell people what they are. Sometimes the people in such low level that you cannot talk to them in Shabbos about muktzeh. They touching muktzeh, they don't know that they make a sin. So if you tell them now it's going to be on purpose. Until now they have no idea what it is. They touch it, they move it, they pick up a stone, they walk with that, they don't know stone is muktzeh, they never went to yeshiva. So you have to think twice, when do you tell what? Because sometimes this person is not going to take you serious. You know, one Rebbe, he came with his gabbai to a house of a banker. They walk into the house, and the Rebbe come and sit on a chair and doesn't say a word, nothing. So the gabbai didn't know. The gabbai just follow him. So the banker got nervous. Why this big Rav come and sit in my living room and he doesn't say a word? So they comes to him, Rabbi, can I help you? The rabbi sit like this, doesn't make a beep. He comes to the gabbai, he takes him to the kitchen. He says, tell me, what's going on here? Do you know anything? He said, no, I don't know. He didn't tell me why he came here. So he said to him, I don't know what. After half an hour, this banker came back to the Rebbe and said, Rabbi, I'm sorry, I can't take this anymore. Tell me what's going on here. So the Rabbi said, I can't tell you what I want to tell you. So he said, why? So anyway, you won't listen. I know you won't listen, so what's the point of telling you this? So the rich guy says to him, so in that case, why you came here to begin with? Because it says like this, I wanted to tell you something when I was in my house. When I'm in my house, I cannot tell it to you. The Mishnah say that when you see a person and you want to tell him something, if you know he won't accept it for sure, don't tell him. Now, if I was in my house, anyway I cannot tell you, so I cannot do this mitzvah. So now I came to be next to you, that I see you and I can tell you, but I won't tell you. This guy go crazy. I said, Rabbi, trust me, it will be fine, tell me. He said, no, I'm telling you, it's a waste of time. No, tell me. That's called reverse psychology. So he says, I heard that in 2 days you're taking that house to an auction. There's a Jewish widow with kids over there. Her husband died. They don't pay you the mortgage. And you're about to sell the house and throw her to the street. How could I sleep at night? So I came to you to tell you to leave her alone. So he told him, Rabbi, you have to be serious. I'm not the only owner of the bank. I have partners, stockholders. They owe 200,000. What do you think? I can let her go with that? So the rabbi said, you see? I told you you won't listen. He said to the gabbai, okay, let's go. And the last minute before the auction, they cancel it. He let her stay there. It bothered him. It bothered his conscience. And the widow got saved. You see, the rabbis in the previous generation, when they heard such a thing, it bothered them. They went to do something about it. That's how it used to be. Then it says like this. Don't ever say, later I will learn Torah. Rabbi, after I get married, you see how every day I'll learn Torah. Right now, it's hard for me. And when I'll make money, I'll have time, I retire, and I learn Torah. When I'll be healthy, I will learn Torah. When I'll move to Israel, I'll be able to learn. When my Rabbi will come back, I will learn. A lot of stories and balonies. Somebody that say one day I will learn, for sure will never be able to learn. Why? When you had it in your hand, you didn't learn, Hashem won't give you the chance to learn. I promise you, when I retire, what will I do at that time? What am I going to sit all day by the lake catching fish? What? I'm going to have time to learn. You wait and see. When you go on pension, you're going to go to the old age club, they play piano for you, they bring a clown, they take you all to the spa a little bit. You won't learn. You won't learn. You won't learn. Al tomar lekshefne shne. Don't say when I have time I will learn. Shema lo tipaneh. Now you have siyata d'shmaya to learn. What are you waiting for another 10 years? Right now the Rambam say a person that a minute before he dies, a minute is connected to machines already. He still have an obligation to learn Torah every day. A person that knock on doors begging for bread for his children still must learn Torah every day. Person that has leprosy, all his body is wounded with all kinds of pus and itching, is going crazy. He still have to learn Torah. No one is dismissed from it. No one. It's the main purpose of life. If a Jew doesn't do it, what's the point of living? And bur yerechet, no ignorant, ever fearing from the sins. Ignorance, not afraid to make sins. They make the sins and they light a cigarette and enjoy it. A minute after. No problem. Or on Shabbat, when he lights the cigarette, he enjoys the cigarette. It doesn't bother him right now. Every second I lose my eternity for this lousy cigarette. Not talking about his health. Health, big deal. 5 years more, 5 years less. Anyway, life is a blink of the eye. And bur yerechet, you will never find someone that is not educated in Torah that is fearful from Hashem and from the sins. No. Velo am haaretz chasid. And am haaretz, what's the difference between bur and am haaretz? Bur and am haaretz, what's the difference? Both of them are ignorant. They do not know anything. But am haaretz is a person that has good midot. He doesn't know anything in Torah, but he's polite, he has manners, he won't do bad things in a table when they eat. But the bur is arrogant, don't know Torah, nothing. So before we say, en bur yerechet, bur can care less about the Torah and the punishments. He doesn't care what's going on. Am haaretz, he has good manners already, naturally. He was born like this. He doesn't need Musar to make him a good person. Some people are born good, because they died good in their previous life. They have different tests in their life, not to correct their personality. With that, they're already okay. They have other things, maybe charity, maybe Torah, maybe other things. Or maybe to get married, maybe to, So, that's since they already have good manners, so they don't say, like they say with the bur, yerechet. Because these people are naturally have good manners. Lo am haaretz chasid. Chasid means a level of, it's a person that it's above average, which means this is an average of the righteous people, is even higher than them. Madrigat chasidut. It's very important. Velo habaishan lamed, someone who sits in a class and is embarrassed to ask questions will never learn. Don't hesitate. Send your questions. Velo hakapdan melamed, and someone that is very strict and very angry cannot be a teacher. Why? He doesn't have patience to the kids or to the people. He screams at them, "You fool, what are you asking? How many times you ask the same questions?" He goes crazy, You have kids, you have teachers like this in yeshivot. That's why some of the kids go off the derech because of them. Or he tells them, "Look at you, you cannot walk through the door. How much pizza you eat?" And this little kid, from that moment on, loses his life because of him. I'm telling you, you have no idea what they do. So not everyone can be a Rabbi. Or do you think it's easy to be a Rabbi? Today, if you come to a big chacham, and you tell him to come be a Rabbi in yeshiva for kids, he'll laugh at you. You're insulting me. In the old generation, who taught the kids? The biggest chachamim. They didn't feel insulted to teach 10, 11 or 12 years old. It was an honor for them because they knew this is the future of the nation of Israel. Today, who do they send to teach kids? People that themselves hardly knows anything. Why? Kids. What kids? Kids is everything. This is planting the seed in the ground. It's the most important thing. It became the other way around. Instead of taking the best rabbi and sending him to teach the kids, they take the beginners. And that's why the generation looks the way he is. Then he saw one time a skeleton floating on water. And he says to the skeleton in Aramaic, At de'ataf atfuch v'sof metifayich yetufun. What is it? Translation. He says like this: you drown someone, and someone drown you. And those who drown you will be drowned. Which means everything is measure for measure. Your tooth broke, you probably broke somebody's tooth or laugh at somebody that broke his tooth. That's why 20 years later it happens to you. You understand? One rabbi was very, very good rabbi, and his house was open for all the poor people all the time. He's taking care of them, feeding them. And he's very, very sensitive to the people, not to offend anyone. One time, in the middle of his Motzi Shabbos lecture, you know, he has a table on a stage, when he stands and speaks to all his community, they see that he has a poor person sitting next to him on the table, dressed there, everything ripped, horrible the way he looks, the old man, the poor man. So now the whole community is dying to know what's special today that the Rabbi brought this poor man to sit on a stage in front of the whole crowd. They cannot even listen to his lecture because of their curiosity. By the end of the lecture, they came to the Rabbi, who is this man? And forget who he is, why you put him on the stage? So the Rabbi told him, when I was a kid, I had 3 brothers. Until today I have 3 brothers. And my parents sent all of us to strict yeshivot to learn Torah. And my parents had a friend, also religious, that was screaming at my father and my mother, "You fool, you're primitive. Why don't you send your kids to college? What's going to come out of them? Learning Gemara all day, Gemara, fanatic, crazy. Learn something, be a doctor, be something. Go to the college. You don't have a degree? Who's going to marry him?" You know how the fools talk. You hear it a lot. So my parents said, no, we go by what Hashem told us, not what you say. Hashem said to learn Torah, we'll learn Torah. They'll be poor. Nobody dies from being poor. There's a little bit less convenience. Don't worry. So you know who this poor man is? He is the son of this person. This person has few kids, all of them homeless. The ones that he sent his kids to good school, to colleges. And me and my 3 brothers, each one of us, Af Bedin, the head of the Jewish court. We made a very good salary. Everything we need, we get for free. We have our homes. We have our community. We're very famous. Everything a person could ask for, we have. We never went to college, but we were very successful, all of us, in everything we did. And you see this poor man? I knew you were going to ask me after the lecture who he is, and I knew that it's worth it for me to tell you the story more than the whole lecture. That you understand that in the end, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives everyone what he deserves. Sooner or later, it's people that are addicted to food. Did you ever see what happening? It's blinking over there. Oh, what's happened? No, אני מקווה. It's recording? Yeah, all right. No. It says, מרבה בשר, מרבה רימה. You ever see what happened in a wedding when they bring the ice cream and the cakes in the end? 500 people, shift to the left. All of a sudden everyone was like, what's the big deal? Ice cream. Control yourself. What are you, a dog? So how a dog excited how he moves his tail and the saliva is dripping from his mouth? What's going on? Rabbi, what the watermelon? Give me 5 pieces. Nobody see. You know, two guys came for Shabbos to a family. One of them is a lowlife, and one of them is an intelligent guy. So try to imagine the scenario. One of them is sleazy, and the other one is so polite, you know, handkerchief, clean his mouth, you know. So there's 2 pieces of chicken in a plate, one big and one small, and they thinking which one will take what. So the intelligent, he doesn't want to take until the sleazy will take. So the sleazy take his fork, stick it to the big piece, grab it like this, put it in his plate. So the intelligent guy say, "You're such an arrogant person. Couldn't you take the small one? Why you have to take the big piece?" So he say, "What's the problem? What's the problem? What would you do instead of me? If you would be me, what would you do?" He say, "I would take the small piece. So here it is, take it." What do you want? You want it here, you got it. He doesn't even understand what's wrong about what he does. So anyway, marbe basar, marbe rima. The fatter you are in the time of death, the more you're going to suffer. Because it takes longer to the worms to finish eating the body and the soul. For sure we're going on a diet tomorrow. So, yeah, that's what the Kabbalah says. No. Marbe nashim, person that has too many ladies in his life. Marbe kshafim, all kinds of curses comes on him. Marbe shfachot, people. This is, remember, this was written 2,000 years ago. This was written 2,000 years ago.
Why did Shlomo HaMelech have so many?
This was written 2,000 years ago, which means people used to own slaves. People used to own slaves. And because they used to own slaves, slaves don't have that much rights. Like, he controlled all these females, the slaves, and that brings a lot of prostitution. Too many slaves, eventually you become a thief. Why? Because they touch all kinds of things that don't belong to them. They don't care. And everything they take and bring home, actually everything, you own them. So it's like your property is going and stealing from you. Marbe Torah, marbe chaim. Someone who has a lot of Torah, his life is great. He has a lot of good life. Marbe yeshiva, marbe chokhmah, sitting in yeshiva, getting a lot of wisdom. Marbe etzah, marbe tvuna. What does it mean, marbe etzah? Not, you don't count only on yourself. You have an advisor. You have a big Rav. He advises you what to do. I want to buy, I want to sell, I want to do this, I want to marry this girl, should I marry? Somebody left me a message yesterday. One guy from, I think from Queens, is getting married tonight. He's getting married tonight. I don't have that much time ever to go to weddings, but the message was that I was about to marry a girl last year, and you told me not to marry her, and it was difficult, but I listened to you, and I'm getting married to a girl that is 1,000,000 times better. Now, you understand? So advice is important. He would end up with the other one, probably by now will be divorced already. He would call me for his divorce today, not for his wedding. You understand? So, not counting on himself, asking advice from smart rabbis, holy rabbis, etc. Then, marbe tzedakah, marbe shalom. The more tzedakah he gives, he gets peace. Why? Because the pasuk says in Yeshaya, "Va'aya maseh tzedakah shalom," which means people love him. Even people who wants to fight with him, they hold themselves because they know he's famous of giving a lot of tzedakah, this guy. Let's not mess with him. Why? People have sympathy for him. So automatically, people have less incentive to fight with him.
Could be that they don't know also, and they still don't cry.
They don't know what?
That he gives tzedakah.
If they don't know, they don't know. But in Shamayim, it's mainly from Shamayim, they set it up like this, that from Shamayim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu prevent all kind, you know, the Tanakh says, this is what it says. It says, Birtzot Hashem darkei ish, gam oivav yashlim imo. When Hashem is satisfied from a Jew, all his enemies are anxious to make peace with him. Who are his enemies? His own family members. The kids that are giving him hard time, the brothers, the parents, the sister, the in-laws, all the surroundings. Sometimes they make more damage than the biggest enemies. And not only that, the bugs, Chazal say, if even the mosquitoes, the bugs, when Hashem is satisfied for you, they don't have permission to bite you. That's how far it goes. So it means it's all about what you are. If Hashem is happy from you, He saves you from a lot of things. Kana lo divrei Torah, Kana Shem Tov, if he made himself a good reputation, is very positive. Kana lo divrei Torah, now he has full knowledge in Torah, he got a ticket to the life of eternity. Chayei Olam Haba. Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai received from Hillel and Shammai. Hillel and Shammai was the two big yeshivot in that time. The president of Israel came later, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, the Gemara says that Hillel HaZaken had 80 students. The greatest one, there's nothing we can do. He had 80 students. 80 students. The biggest one was Yonatan ben Uziel, that was learning Torah. Every bird was falling above him, burning. Every bird that flew above him was burning and falling down. Then the smallest one out of all of them was Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. And Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was the president of Israel in the time of the destruction of the Second Temple. And if you say the smallest, come and see how much he knew. The Gemara says he knew the language of all the angels. He knew the language of all the animals. He knew the language of all the trees, all the rivers, everything in the creation, he knew their languages. And he was the smallest student of 80 that Hillel HaZaken had, Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai. And he was saying, if you learned a lot of Torah, don't hold too much credit that Hashem created you to begin with. So if you know so much Torah, don't feel like a big shot. You just did what you had to do anyway. Like if a worker comes to the store, he gets $10 an hour and his job to clean. When he cleans, what does he feel? Oh, look at me, you did what you get paid for. What did I do? Thanks to me the store is clean. You get paid. That's it. So Hashem put you here to learn Torah. You did what you have to do. Don't take too much credit for it. If you did something you were not obligated to do, no. Now you deserve maybe more credit. Something you were created for. In their level it was simple. For us, I wish we would take credit for it. As long as we learn. That's the most important thing. 5 students he had, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. And those are the ones. Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkanus, Rabbi Yoshua ben Hanania, Rabbi Yossi HaKohen, Rabbi Shimon ben Netanel, and Rabbi Elazar ben Arach. He used to praise them, each one of them. Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkanus, Bor Sud she'eno me'ah, which means he's like a hole in the ground, like a well that is covered very good, and does not lose one drop of water. That means, it's a compliment. But everything he hears, he never forgets anything. Rabbi Yoshua, Ashrei Yoladeto. He's so great, the whole world praising his mother everywhere she goes, that she has such a son. Then some says in the Gemara that his mother used to take his crib to the yeshiva, that he would grow up hearing Torah from day zero. From the moment he was born, every day she puts him there to hear Torah, Torah, Torah. That's why they say Ashrei Yoladeto, how lucky is this mother. Rabbi Yossi, he said Chassid. What's Chassid? Not like today. Or too much chulent on Shabbos. By Shabbos we have to enjoy Onek Shabbat. That's not Chassid. Chassid. Or those who go on 42nd Street in the dirty stores to take something. They have long payoffs all day like this. What is this? Chassid means someone that is above average. Whether he has a fair hat, whether he doesn't. Whether he wears these coats, or whether he has peot, or doesn't have peot, or his beard is short or long, it doesn't matter. It goes by the actions, not by the look. Last parasha we read about Shimshon the prophet, Samson. What was his father's name? Manoach. What's his mother's name? Slalfonit. That's her name. It doesn't appear in the Haftarah, but I'll tell you the secret. Her name is Slalfonit. An angel comes to her and say, you're going to have a son. It's like a monk, Nazir. Special, holy, from birth. When her husband came, Manoach, she told him, I saw a holy man. The messenger of God came to me. And he told me we're going to have a kid. Ask, how did she know he's a holy man? He came and spoke to her. A man spoke to you. By speaking to a man, you know if he's holy or not? 2, 3 sentences. How did she know he's holy? What do we learn from the question of the Gemara? What do we learn? If the beard and the size of the hat and the coat would determine if you're holy or not, in that case what the Gemara is asking. The answer is, she saw his beard and his beautiful hat, and she knows that he's holy. But from the question of the Gemara, we see that the image of the person doesn't make you holy. The Indians in India have very white beard like a snow. You know? And you know what they do with that? They sweep the floor next to Buddha every morning with their beard. They go like this and sweep the floor. Yeah. And they don't take a shower for 5 years. Did you ever take a yellow cab in Manhattan with one of them? You deserve a Nobel Prize winner. And when you ask them why you don't take a shower, they say the body is holy. What's the difference between a Jew to an Indian? You know the Hebrew alphabet? How do you write a Jew? Yehudi. Yud, Hey, Vav, Daled, Yud. How do you write Indian? Hodi. Hey, Vav, Daled, Yud. What's the difference between Yehudi and Hodi? Yud. Only one little letter, the Yud. Once you take the Yud out of the Yehudi, the Yud is Hashem. You take the Yud out, you become Hodi. You understand? Now that's why a lot of Israelis go to Goa, to India, to lay down on the beach and smoke their tzingele all day. Rabbi, look at the sun here. If that's what Hashem wanted from you, He'll make you a chimpanzee or the lion in the Bronx Zoo. Why He needs you over there to come to lay in the sun? I love the sun. I love the sun. Let's move on. Yeah, later. Then it says like this. Rabban Shimon ben Netanel Yerechet. Fear from the sins. It's fearing the sins. What does it mean, fearing the sin? Even the things that is allowed, he's scared to do. Obviously the things that is not allowed. Why? Because he's afraid maybe it would lead me to a sin. So I'm careful. I'm careful. I'm not going to that place. You know why? If I'll be there, there's a chance. That's why I don't want to go there. The Gemara says if a person has two ways in front of him, one is shortcut, full of women, not modest women on the streets, and one is long, clean, no women there. And he went through the shortcut, closed his eyes, and did not look at one of the ladies. Watch his eyes completely. He walked and did not make a sin. Somebody like this today, right away become the chief rabbi of Queens. No? I followed that rabbi to see if he's going to look at the ladies. I followed, he didn't know. And he walked to that street, believe me, he didn't look. He went like this with his hand on his face. Everybody will make a line. Rabbi, I heard that you're a holy man. Give me a bracha, please. What does the Gemara says? Somebody that did it is a rasha, wicked. Why is wicked? You watch his eyes, he's wicked? Not for that. For that he deserves. He's going to get a reward for that, for not watching them, for sure. You get a reward for everything good you do. Why is rasha? That you had the nerve to walk into that block, risking the chance that you're going to make one of the worst sins, looking at the not modest ladies, all these prostitutes over there. Just risking, even though you did not commit a sin, but taking a risk, maybe it will happen, that shows you don't have Yirat Shamayim. You don't have Yirat Shamayim. If a person has a shortcut, his minefield, there's bombs under the ground, and he went through and did not explode. He's a genius or he's a fool? My cousin once told me that when he was in the army, he was a commander. And one time they drove a jeep and they entered a special place in Lebanon, and then somebody that saw them from the mountain called them on the walkie-talkie and said, "Stop the jeep!" Shh, excuse me, please, it's not mechunach to talk on the phone in the middle of the lecture. It's not supposed to be. I'm sorry. It says like this. It says like this. He got a walkie-talkie, and the walkie-talkie, they scream, "Stop the jeep! Stop the jeep!" They stop the jeep. You are surrounded by bombs. It's under the ground. It's mokshim, minefields. So he said that the fear was so great that he made in his pants. A person cannot control it. He was under fear. Only later he saw when they got them out of there, a helicopter came and picked them up in the air. He realized that he's all wet. When a person is afraid of something, you understand, this is the first time he realized what fear is. He didn't want to make one more step. Who wants to take a risk? Another inch can go on fire. Boom. He was afraid of Hashem. He was there to be Mechalel Shabbat. When people are Mechalel Shabbat, let's say they by mistake turn the light on. How long does it take them to go back and smile and dance? How long? After they, for a second or two, they feel bad. No, 3, 4, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 10, 20 seconds there. Somebody, come, let's eat together. That jokes. Ma, just a minute ago, you made a big sin. A minute later, it doesn't bother him. This is what's going on when you have no Yirat Shamayim. Rabbi ben Ara is the fifth one. It's like a spring water that keeps getting stronger and stronger by the minute. Ma'ayan HaMitgaber. He hears, knows how to put everything to the bottom of the group. Most people in the world, they don't have a deep shit on top of this. Nothing is decided to the root of the problem. They understand. When they see a problem, they don't understand. Everything that they understand in their life and everything that they do in life, it's only shitchi. Shitchi means, from the outside only. The inside is very rotten. But from the outside, Rabbi Nachman, dancing in the street, let's go to Uman, Kadima. What is this nonsense? You gotta work on your inside. What is all this show off? Long beard, peos like this flying in the wind, wearing special weird clothes, everywhere they go, they behave weird. What for? It's all outside, it's all chitzoni, it's external. A Jew is not determined by his outside behaving. It's the inside, who you are. It's all a show, trust me when I tell you. You have to be very clever to know which one is real and which one is a show. And most people, like I always said, they get fooled by the outside look. We have in the upstate one guy who has a very long white beard, and he walks with the hats of rabbis, special Rosh Yeshiva hat, and is the biggest thief I ever saw in my life. Every week he has a new victim. A new victim. He takes $20,000 from this guy, fooling him, the money is gone. Goes to somebody, another naive guy, takes $27,000, the money is gone. Go here, the money is gone. So somebody asked me, so if he's such a crook, why is he going with a beard like this? Go be Chiloni, take your yarmulke off. You don't need a beard, you can do whatever you want. What? It's a burden. Told him, you fool. The beard is his business card. Who would give him money without his beard? He takes advantage of the stupidity of the people. That's what they count on him. They see the hat and the beard. Oh, Rabbi, I saw a holy man. You got it? So they give him the money. And then everybody scream, how the religious people are like this? How they decide they're religious? Because they have $2 on their head. But the Arabs don't have yarmulke? They have. You know how many nation has something on their head? Many different religions. And the beard, in the old days everyone had a beard. A person is what you are inside, not what you are from the outside. And then, before we finished, this is what he says. If you take all the Chachamim of Israel, all the rabbis of generation, and you put them on one side of the scale, and you take him, Rabbi Eliezer ben Orkanus, and put him in the other side, he takes all of them together in his level. Rabbi Eliezer ben Orkanus. Abba Shaul says in his name, if you take all the Chachamim of Israel, and Rabbi Eliezer ben Orkanus, you move them to their side. Until now he was on the other side. Now you take him and put him also with them together. And you put Rabbi Elazar, is a different Rabbi Elazar, in the other side, he's greater than all of them. So just that you imagine who was he. Who was he? Yeah. Then last.
So how did she know how holy he is, Samson's mother?
How did she know? So I'm saying because of the Gemara ask, how did she know? That means it's not from the look. How did she know? It's a good question. I don't know how she knew, but
she felt maybe.
You cannot feel that things. But the Gemara only asked the question, how did she know? Which means the beard and this did not tell anything. Because otherwise the Gemara wouldn't ask the question. What do you mean? She saw by the outside. You understand? Tzuru ezri derech yeshara. Follow the right way that a person should walk through. Rabbi Eliezer said, Ayin Tova. A person that has good eye. Which means never make evil eye to people, not jealous, generous, Baal Chesed. Positive, looking at positive at people, not negative. Rabbi Yoshua said, good friend. Good friend can be better than a brother. You have a brother in LA and a good friend across the street is much more significant to your life than your brother that is on the other side of the ocean. Rabbi Yossi said, Shachen Tov. Good neighbor is even better than a good friend. In time of emergency, he can be the one that, plus you see him all the time. Rabbi Shimon says, Aroeh et hanolad, someone that can predict the future, not because he's a prophet, not because of that. Why? Because he see where are we heading to. He's clever. He always see if this person does this and this and this, I won't be surprised next week so I get a phone call from the police to come release him on bail. See already where it's going. See. Or if he makes certain scenes or the way he behaves, you know what's going to be. Or if you go to a certain place and you see what the rabbi is doing there, you know that by the next month he won't be there. Why? You see, if you're clever, you see where things are going to. Rabbi Elazar says, Lev Tov, good heart, pure good. אמר להם, רואה אני דברי רבי אלעזר בן ערך, I see the words of Rabbi Elazar ben Arach, that all your things include in his. Which, what did we just say? That when he say good heart, it's include all the other fives together. When you have good heart, you have good eye. When your heart is functioning, everywhere the Torah is speaking about wisdom, the Torah does not speak about brain. The Torah is speaking about Chacham Lev. The wisdom that Hashem is praising is wisdom in a heart, not in a head. If you know math, you don't deserve any credit. If you know medicine, you don't deserve any credit. Why Chacham Lev? If your wisdom settle in your heart and overcome your desires and your temptations, then you are considered Chacham. If it's not translated into good actions, who cares about your wisdom and knowledge? It's worthless. It's worthless. It's like writing a beautiful article and not pressing send. 3 days he sits and writes beautiful article, he has to send it to the newspaper, he forgot to press send. It doesn't go to the heart. It's the same corrupted person. You know these doctors that give seminars to quit smoking? And just when the lesson finished, you see them in the hallway smoking? Yeah, you have people like this. That's what the Torah said, Na'eh doresh, na'eh mekayem. When you come to give a speech, make sure you're living according to what you say. Because one picture equals like 1,000 words. You can say beautiful 1,000 words, everyone is convinced. Tomorrow they see you doing the opposite of what you preach. All the 1,000 words were dismissed. What is the bad way that a person has to stay away from? One, chavera, bad friend. Rabbi Yoshua say, bad friend. Stay from bad friends. They will drown you in hell with their bad ways. Rabbi Yossi say, shachen ra. Bad neighbors, he destroy your life. Everything he hears, we go, he say about you, what you do, what you spoke to your wife, what you do to your kids, everything he hears and he says. Rabbi Shimon says, alove ve'eno meshalem. Person that does not return the loans. Whether he's borrowing from a person, it's count like he's borrowing from Hashem and didn't pay. Shene'emar, how we learn it? From Tehillim. Love rasha ve'lo yishalem. Love rasha ve'lo yishalem. Someone who borrow and do not pay back is considered rasha, wicked. Ve'tzadik chonen ve'noten. And the tzaddik is generous, he gives out. Rabbi Elazar say, lev ra. Bad heart, evil heart. Amar lahem, I see the words of Rabbi Elazar ben Arach, that it include everything you said in his words. So the bottom line, the conclusion, and we'll finish with that, is good heart and bad heart, it's everything. Good heart include in it many things, generosity, mercy, so many things. And bad heart is just the opposite. His narrow eyes, his jealousy, his lashon hara, his arrogance, his anger. It all comes from the heart. The source of everything. That's why the Torah always prays the heart, the heart. And what do we say in a prayer? When we do Birkat HaLevana, what do we say 7 times? Lev tahor, berah li Elokim, ve'ruach nachon, chadesh bekirbi. Hashem, please renew my heart, make me a new heart. And bring into me a new spirit. So what does it mean, create a new heart to me? Some people do not know how to read Hebrew, so this is how they say it. Lev tahor bara li Elokim, they say. What's the difference between bara and bera? With shva. Bara means once in the past Hashem created to me a new heart. That means the heart is not here anymore. It used to be. But here it's a request. Bera li, create to me. Not created. It's the big difference. Big difference between the kamatz and the shva. It changed the entire meaning of the word. You have to be careful. You have to say, Lev ta'or bera li Elokim. Create to me Hashem. I'm begging you. And this is what the Navi says. the Navi Yechezkel and other Navi, other prophets. It says that in that day Hashem promised that He will create to us a heart of flesh, soft, good, observing the good, not a heart of stone like we have. He will replace the heart of stone that we have from all the sins with a new, soft, nice heart. It's an expression, it's metaphoric. So we'll finish here. Baruch Hashem, we did 10 Mishnayot today. It Shivalat. And we continue with Bezrat Hashem next Monday. Thank you very much again. Yes, any question before we finish? Anything? Thank you very much. Good night.